Ryuga Gotoku Studios, otherwise known as RGG Studios, has been around for a really long time, and most people don't actually know that their history dates back even farther than the Yakuza games. But today we are thankfully not here to talk about any of the Yakuza games, and not even any of their recent stuff like Judgment or the upcoming Lost Judgment. Unfortunately, today I want to talk about their worst game. RGG Studios has been around for almost 2 decades now, and while it hasn't always been under that title, they have been responsible for many awesome entries in the Super Monkey Ball franchise. Now, in the year 2019, something amazing happened. Sega brought back Super Monkey Ball. After over 7 years of silence since Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits on the PlayStation Vita, the last real and the last good Monkey Ball game, it had been a really long time. So how was Sega going to bring back this historic franchise for them? Something that started as an arcade cult classic, a eventual GameCube exclusive for the first 2 games, and definitely lost its luster after the first few releases. Well, Sega, in their infinite wisdom, they decided what better way to bring the franchise back than by looking at one of its lowest moments. A interesting move. And by releasing Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, this was kind of their chance to say, okay, we're going to bring Monkey Ball back. It's a budget title at around $30 in the West. Release it on Switch, Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4, and see how it goes. So you may be saying to yourself, well, what's wrong with that? They just wanted to port a Wii game to current gen systems to test the bed for future releases in the Monkey Ball franchise. Let me tell you what the problem with that is. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz is the worst Monkey Ball game in the entire series. At least out of ones I have ever played. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD is the worst RGG game they have ever made. Non-stop. They will have to try very hard to get below this bar in the distant future. Now, why after so many years would some random channel on YouTube decide to make a video talking all about this? Well, for those of you who don't know, at E3 this year, or if you've been following in the Super Monkey Ball fandom, as many of us I'm sure do, Sega has actually announced Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, a collection of Super Monkey Ball 1, 2, and elements of Deluxe, all wrapped up into current systems, and yes, even PlayStation 5, which is still hilarious to this day. That is coming out in October. I cannot wait for that game. It looks amazing. That looks like how we should have got this franchise back. Unfortunately, Banana Blitz HD is not Banana Mania. Banana Blitz HD, otherwise known as Super Monkey Ball HD, because I don't want to have to keep saying Banana Blitz thinking Banana Splits, because Banana Splits is one of my favorite Monkey Ball games of all time, and that's just too confusing. Super Monkey Ball HD had the laborious task of trying to port a pretty bad Wii game, a launch Wii game, mind you, to resurrect interest in a franchise, and I think it is safe to say has failed terribly. If you like this game, good for you. If you enjoy this game, good for you. As someone who has spent the last 35 plus hours over the last month playing this game, and platinuming this game, mind you, it was one of the most painful experiences I've had playing a video game in recent memory. So let's break it down a little bit. Why is this game so bad? So on the Wii, it used gyro sensor. It had the Wii remote. Totally makes sense. This is a game that you could easily play with motion controls, and it would make sense. The levels were designed around this. But there's one problem. It introduced elements that the series should never have had. First off, jumping. Monkey Ball is not about jumping. Adding platforming to an already chaotic puzzle game like Monkey Ball is ambitious, to say in the nicest way possible, but in execution is incredibly messy. You have no real control. You're not really sure where you're landing. It's pressure sensitive. Sometimes you're jumping a little. Sometimes you're jumping a lot. How fast am I jumping? Now, obviously, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to get off the ground board. Some of the most fun things in Monkey Ball are moving so fast that you bounce off of the stage, or you're hitting a bump and you're collecting bananas that are airborne. That's fine, that's challenging. But jumping from individual section to section levels is never what this series is known for, and after trying to watch them make a game out of it, is really, really failed on every level of execution. As a platformer, it's not satisfying when it works, and when it's not working and the game is actively, repeatedly just killing you for things that are not really at your fault at all, it is just unfair and not fun. Even people in the speedrunning community talk about this game like you have to bend this game's will. There's no learning to break this game. You just have to follow its horrible, nightmarish rules and hope you survive on the other end of it. Which is really a shame, because I've always appreciated Monkey Ball. All the titles I've played of, this is a challenging game. This is not meant to be easy, even though it looks really fun, colorful, and cartoony. There are really hard elements of it to master, and it's a rewarding feeling. Like when you die in a stage 30 times, but you know that you're the one at fault. You know that you just have to find that right balanced movement to get from the beginning to the goal. That is a satisfying feeling. But in Super Monkey Ball HD, you don't have that feeling. The game is actively pushing you, sometimes randomly. Stages range from being overly simple and feeling no challenge at all, with minimal platforming, high barriers, almost impossible to really fall out of unless you're trying, to the opposite extreme of multiple tiny, challenging platforming sections where you have to bounce off of spiky surfaces, things just jumping in your way, making it harder, not because it's a well-designed, challenging level, but because the game, and more importantly, its controls are fighting back against you. It's not a fun feeling, it's not a satisfying feeling, and even after doing as well as I could with this game to complete every achievement in it, never felt good to learn. Next up, and something that might seem a lot more minor, but is just really mind-boggling, is individual stats for each character. Now, in the past, normally, and even in future games, if you played as Ai or any of his friends, it didn't matter which one you were. You could be Baby, you could be Gungan. It was just going to be like, you pick who you want to look like, there you go, enjoy your experience, no harm, no foul. They introduced stats, and each character plays differently. Some players are more adverse to a slow, heavy character, some of them are going to jump higher, run faster, way less, and I could see where there'd be interesting options, like similarly when picking a Mario Kart character. The problem is, the game is not designed to feel like that makes sense. You are, for the most part, just going to avoid certain characters unless you're trying to do a challenge run. I never once wanted to play as Gongon, I never once wanted to play as the Doctor. My whole experience was, okay, who is going to be the most optimal for a just average Monkey Ball player who wants to complete all the stages, have a good time, and not feel like I'm having to fight the game any more than I am. So having all the characters have different stats was just kind of confusing and really seemed like a weird addition to it. And then even more so with the new unlockable character of Sonic. Sonic just has the best stats in the game, so once Sonic's unlocked, you'll never play as anyone else unless you want to use a costume or just play as that specific character. It's very weird. And last but not least, in terms of the major additions that make me want to pull every fiber of my body out of my own being, it's the boss battles. Oh my gosh, why boss battles in a Monkey Ball game? You can have a story. I like story, even when it's really just, hey, monkey wants banana, banana goes to space, space banana, hip hip hooray. Boss battles in this game, mixed with the jumping, mixed with the randomized elements, and all together wrapped in the terrible level design I'd mentioned earlier, led to almost every single of the 8 bosses being absolutely infuriating. Ranging from super boring designs with random elements to kill you, to just sections of, okay, I know the boss's patterns, but because the game is not working with me, or is expecting me to maybe jump here and the physics are being a little bit wonkier, always just seemed random. And was just one of those things of, yes, I can learn the game more, I can get to, like me playing it on hour 1 compared to hour 35, I was a much better player. but me fighting that boss fight for the first time or the 100th time, I hated all of them. There was never a boss fight that was universally fun and good to go through multiple times, let alone the first time. So it was just super unneeded. It's bloat. I hate having to go through it in the time trial mode. It's just one of the worst things in the game. Like, I cannot believe they A, kept it in there, B, never made it optional, and C, have no way to go through it when you're trying to just speedrun the game. Because there's nothing fun about trying to find optimal speed strats to kill a boss in a monkey ball game. Words I hope to never say again in my entire life. So, not only did those factors lead into a really piss-poor monkey ball experience for me, but like other things as well, of like the more research I did into it, of Monkey Ball HD only has 10 minigames from a game that had 50. To be fair, everyone who has told me about the original release says all of those games are also bad. The 10 they brought here aren't great either. They are all bad, they are all slow, they are all monotonous, the physics feel weird. Even something like Monkey Target, which is a fun experience that is like a classic in the franchise, just got very slow and never really felt fun to play. All of them were like, okay, there's a 1% of a chance that this is a fun idea, but nothing I ever wanted to play more than my first decathlon. Unfortunately, I decided, because I'm a masochist, to platinum this game, and this game's achievements are insanely idiotic. So, for example, it has pretty easy stuff of beat the game. There's some trophies. Beat the game with no continues. Makes total sense. Play with a certain amount of characters. Very understandable. And then other ones like play time trial mode 36 times. The shortest way to do that will still take you hours of playing the same stage over and over and over and over and over. Terrible experience. Let's one-up that. Decathlon mode. A single-player adventure of trying to get the highest score while playing all 10 minigames back to back to back to back to back. Do that 36 times. That is at minimum 7 hours of playing minigames by yourself. And might I remind you, they are bad minigames. The snowboarding is clunky and is not fun. The hovercraft makes me want to bash my brains in. The only bit of good I can say about this is almost half of the minigames you can set the controller down and scroll on your phone, wondering to yourself, why am I still doing this, as your wife is asking, are you okay, honey? And you say you're okay, but you know deep down, this was not worth it. And as long as you can help someone out there know to avoid this game, maybe this video, maybe, will be worth it to someone else. So, the minigames, a truly nightmarishly bad experience. The single player, a absolutely terrible experience. Playing multiplayer minigames with people next to you, still not a fun thing. I've even done that. Even at its most, I'm begging to have fun with you, of me streaming myself, and the world is watching me lose my mind slowly as I'm screaming at maybe a certain boss, the lava world, or God forbid, World 10-5. Every bit of it is painful. Every bit of it is just awful, not fun, and the worst part is, I brought this upon myself. I went out on the 4th of July this year to a Target, and I bought on deep discount a brand new copy on PlayStation 4 for $10. And I still feel like I have not only wasted my time, but I have definitely wasted my money at that price. It was rough. It was still rough. The moments where I thought it was getting better, it still got rough after that. And the worst part about it is that this was an internal project meant to revive the Monkey Ball franchise. I'm just so boggled that you look at recent examples like Sonic Color Ultimate. Sonic, big deal with Sega. That is a port by a Western port house to modern systems. Why? Because they don't really need to do that internally. Look at something like Nocturne HD over at Atlas. Port it out to another company because they don't need to work on that first party. They have other stuff to do. RGG Studios, in between making Yakuza Remastered, Judgment, Yakuza 7, said, no, guys. We need to make this in Unity. Which, by the way, cool, you threw a Wii game in a Unity wrapper. It runs fine, but it like looks really, really bad. RGG decided to throw what I can only hope is a really small group of passionate Monkey Ball fans the world's tiniest budget to make this happen. And it just didn't work out. It failed at revitalizing the franchise in any meaningful way. If anything, it did way more harm than good. And while I am glad that Sega at least didn't use it as an excuse to kill the franchise again, and we are having a chance with Banana Mania, I'm looking at this as this was just a group of developers who probably meant well, not only wasting their own time, but like wasting the players. There was nothing to gain positively from this, unfortunately. So after all my rambling, I have two things to say. Please don't buy Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD. Even if it's on a Switch combo cart with Sonic Forces, which honestly just seems like someone at Sega being in on the joke that these are two of the worst games they've made in recent memory. Don't buy it on clearance. Don't buy it if you are expecting a way to get into Monkey Ball before Banana Mania. Just wait. Banana Mania is almost out. It's going to be $40. It's going to be awesome. There's almost no way they can mess that up. Oh my god, please don't age poorly of me saying this. And then the last thing I want to say, obviously besides thank you for sticking through my ramblings for so long, is man, they made one hell of a good theme song thanks to Banana Fritters. So, at the very least, there was something of worth that came from this game after all. Even with that being said, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD is still Ryuga Gotoku's worst game they have ever made. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the game in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think of Super Monkey Ball in the comments below. Have you played Banana Blitz HD? Are you excited for Banana Mania? I'm excited to hear from you all there. And if you enjoyed this video, or just me trying something new, weird, and a little bit more negative, but definitely not my usual, let me know in the comments. Think about subscribing if you're not already. It means a whole heck of a lot. Have a good one, everybody.